Hey guys, welcome back. Talking receiver play, A to Z, working building the receivers from the ground up. Excited to work this system with the Glazier Clinics, and it's been an awesome experience and getting to go over various topics within how we coach our receivers here at Southern Miss. And I think a big thing that I wanted to hit on kind of in this system is not only the fundamentals and not only the drills we use or the techniques we teach, but also how we do things. What I mean by that is not off the field, but our meetings, our weekly schedule, how those things apply. Because again, as a young coach, I was 22 years old when I first started coaching and had no clue how to run a meeting room, had no clue how to run a position meeting room. Nobody had taught me that, so kind of had to learn on the fly. And I wish somebody would have kind of taught me through some ways that were effective for helping guys in the position meeting space. And so this session, we're going to talk about the position meeting and developing a weekly schedule with efficient ways to create an engaging and an effective learning environment for your wide receivers or for whatever position you're coaching. But I think now more than ever that kids have more distractions and things on their plate than ever before. And so I think that you've got to do a great job as a coach, we do as coaches, of creating a learning environment that isn't like just the classroom that they go to all day. If it's something to where, they come in and you're just talking on a board and you got your back to them the whole time and you're not really creating questions or getting your guys engaged, I think they're going to tune out. And sometimes guys will tune out within 10 to 15 minutes. They're not going to be thinking about that route that they got to get right for Saturday or Friday night. They're going to be thinking about social media, stuff they got to do, and all these other distractions they got. So I think it's up to us as coaches to create an environment that engages them, that is kind of unique, that's creative, that may be a little off the ball, a little different from typical position meetings, to where a guy's just up there talking. And so I'm going to talk through some of those strategies and things that we utilize that help us, but also talk through our schedule, for the week that we utilize with our guys. And so this is kind of correlating to not only your schedule with your position group, but also the schedule that you have set obviously in your program. So again, some of this are some things that we do as a program, but also I want to get specific into what days I want to talk about certain things with the receivers and certain things that we do on certain days that really that are really important. So I'm going to, again, kind of unique topic here, guys. A little different than just talking fundamental play. Again, hopefully there's something in here that you can take back to your position meetings or your weekly schedule that'll really help you guys get even more engaged to your installs and what you're doing. So right here, starting out, like on a Sunday for us, we make all our guys get in the training room for recovery. We're going to lift and we're going to eat. Now, I put some stuff on here, nutrition-wise as well, because like I said before, coaching receivers, you got to make sure they're eating. You got to make sure that they're drinking plenty of water, plenty of Gatorade, because we run 6 to 8 miles a day at practice. We're cutting, we're moving. As I've said before, it's a really important that we fuel our body and we're taking care of our body like a pro. And again, this even at the high school level, you could have, try to find somebody, whether it's in that booster club or some parent, some type of group, or even the coaches, make peanut butter jelly sandwiches or do something for the guys. Going out recruiting, I see a lot of you guys at the high school level have done a phenomenal job making relations with the cafeteria. They bring over fruit, they bring over stuff for your players, chocolate milk. All that stuff. That stuff goes a long way with your kids, a long way. And so trying to have those things in place for your guys so they can stay, they can attack those calories on Sunday to get ready for the week. Then on Monday, obviously we breakfast check our guys to make sure they're eating and getting the calorie count up early in the day. We're going to review our game tape on Monday, and we're going to give out our game day grades. That's where I'll talk, so I'll flash up on the screen our game day grades, and we'll talk about plus minuses and then give them a grade. And then also I want to put out notes to the side, a note to the side of what I feel like needs to improve, and really that section, that's what it's called, is needs to improve, and it's kind of sums it up of what that specific player needs to improve on. It's not general for the group, it's for that specific player. So and so made an 85. This needs to improve. His releases, didn't utilize stem away versus catch technique, whatever it was. We're going to address those in that needs to improve section right there. And I'll be honest, I grade my guys, really hard. I know a lot of coaches say that, but I mean, you know, you'd be hard pressed to find a receiver that grades with a 90 in our room, and I think it's important because you want to really talk about effort, technique, and you want to put it all together and really set a high standard for your guys. So we give out our grades, and then we're going to preview the next opponent. I'm going to have a cut up, okay, and I'm going to talk about the next opponent and their base alignments to formations, talk about personnel, and just kind of give them a preview going. And then we're going to talk about our focus points, okay? Now, that's something to me that has been one of the most important things I think that I've found in my coaching career, and one of the most important things that we do as a position group. In any group I've coached, I've done it with quarterbacks and then done it with tight ends, running backs, and now receivers. The focus points are a big key, and basically to sum that up, because we're going to have a session on that itself, here shortly, where we talk about those focus points. But those focus points are specific fundamentals that are the focal point for our room for that week, so that our guys are not focused on, hey, let's just get through practice this week and let's just go to the game Saturday. They're focused on the process of getting better, the process of being great. And I think that teams throughout the course of a season get better, they get worse. Teams spike and they get really good, or they drop off as the season goes on. But I want my position room to continue to get better each and every single day, each and every single week. And the way you do that is getting better technically and fundamentally. And so these are 2 to 3 key focus points that our guys are going to learn, okay, are going to hone in on that week. And it might be something as little as your first step, not taking any false steps. So we'll delve into that more as we get going throughout the course of these sessions. Okay, so moving on to the rest of the week. So looking at Tuesday, again, start out breakfast tech. We'll have a position meeting, and then we're gonna go to our production chart. Okay, and I'm gonna have a session on this as well, to where we show you our production chart and how we utilize that, to where you're gonna see how we hold our guys accountable, and we're gonna go over that chart. We chart every practice. We grade effort every practice, and we also keep track of technique busts, keep track of how many plays the guys are making. It's a really good deal to show the guys what you're doing throughout the course of the week in practice and hold your guys accountable. And then we're going to install, okay, any type of game plan plays that need to go in, and then we're going to watch a cut up from the previous night's practice. And I believe just through the course of the week, just my belief is 80% of the film that you watch during the course of the week is on yourself, and 20% on the opponent, because it's about us. I really believe that. It's about us. It's about us getting better. Okay, it's about making sure we are getting better technically, fundamentally, and not the opponent. Okay, you just keep talking about the opponent. You keep watching the opponent, focusing on the opponent. The guys, that's all they start to think about is game day. And again, we want our guys fired up for game day. I get all that. And trust me, our guys are going to know their opponent. They're going to know what coverages they like to run. They're going to know their fundamentals. But at the end of the day, we're going to focus on us first and make us the priority. Okay. On Wednesday, breakfast check again, position meet again, do our production chart, and then we'll do film corrections. Now, something big, right there with these film corrections. Okay, that'll obviously be part of the cut up, but I will have corrections from the past 2 practices that I feel like have got to, as a group, they got to get corrected, and I make our guys write them down. I'm not a believer in giving out a bunch of paper. Okay, and giving out handouts. So I want our guys to write them down. If it's, I've got to get my hands inside on the perimeter blocking, write it down. Okay, so we're going to write that down as a group. We're going to take time to do that. Okay, next day, so going on to a Thursday, okay, same schedule, except now I'm going to have on Thursday all the wideouts. I'm going to take almost a whole position meeting for them to draw game plan plays. Okay, they're going to have to draw up game plan plays. And so this isn't every single play in the playbook, okay? This is every specific, unique play that is going in that week. We're going to sit there and draw those up, okay? So there's no gray area. We've repped it all week. We've watched it on tape, and now we're drawing them up, okay? And so we want to make sure, all right, that our guys are drawing those plays up, checking them out, and again, when you draw something, you're going to remember it as opposed to just seeing a coach write it on the board or watching on tape or me giving you a diagram of it. Okay, so we're going to spend time in that meeting and drawing those plays up. Same deal on Friday, except now we're going to have a stretch session, okay, in the morning where we make our guys come to the weight room and with a strength coach. And again, I think you could do this at the high school level with just, again, the receivers coach or whoever's coaching that position group easily to do this, but we want our guys to stretch on Friday. We make it mandatory part of the position meeting time that we stretch. We're going to roll out. We're going to, again, we have access to those Theraguns a lot of people are using. That's great. But we're going to roll out. We're going to use bands. We're going to stretch. We're going to hydrate. And we're going to make sure we're taking care of our body on Friday morning. Okay. Now, again, film study sheet meeting. Okay. This is the most important meeting of the week, and I'm going to get into this as well in another session, the details of that. But our film study sheet meeting is the most important meeting of the week. Okay, it's the most serious meeting of the week. The guys know it's a locked-in, serious deal. I'm not a big believer in tests. With our guys, I'll get to more of that later on in another session. I'm more of a believer in guys watching film and being able to verbalize what they're seeing to me. And we're going to go through that meeting at a later date. But that is the most important meeting of the entire week. Tips and reminders. Okay, we'll do that that night at the hotel. We always make those, and those are things that I feel like we haven't maybe hit on as much as we need to during the week. A play, a formation, an alignment, something little that we need to cover and come back to. That's also talking about our keys of the game. Okay, and what we feel like we have to do in order to win that football game. Okay, we're going to talk about our position meeting structure. Okay, so the way that we do position meetings, themselves. Okay, in a general deal. The number one thing, when it's available, when we're allowed to, is we're going to do ball security. Okay, so guys come in the meeting room. All right, they have a ball. They've got a ball in their hand. All right, and our guys are taking 2 swipes at the ball. So we talk about ball security. The ball is everything. So we want our guys to think about that number one. All right, whenever they come into the position meeting room. Okay, so they come in the room. They know they're going to grab a ball. Okay, they're going to put the eagle claw on it. Okay, we're going to get the palm, the forearm, the bicep, the ribs, and we're going to get that ball to the chin. We're going to keep that thing wrist above the elbow. Okay, and we're going to make sure that we've got great ball security first. Okay, and then we're going to have a teammate, again, just very casual, just get 2 knocks at it on each side, 2 knocks at it on each side, pass it off. Okay, but you're starting out the meeting talking about how important ball security is. Okay, and it's the emphasis. All right. Then we're going to get to our focus points, on Monday. I talked about those, Again, those are specific fundamentals that we got to get better at. That's the focal point for our receivers that week and what we have to get better at. I never go more than 3. It's 2 to 3 bullet points, and our guys are going to write them down. They're not going to get a sheet of paper. They're going to write them down so they remember them, and that's going to drive our film sessions. It's going to encompass a lot of things throughout the course of the week. Corrections. This is the film corrections I talked about. We're going to write those down throughout the course of the week. We're going to make sure that our guys are writing those down. They're not just staring at a screen. This is what I got to get better at. We're going to write those down. All right. We'll obviously, we'll watch several cut-ups. Again, you're pressed for time. We're making sure that we're getting the specific cut-ups we need. The cut-ups are going to be derived not only from corrections, but also from the focus points that we're seeing, good and bad, so we're working as a good job of the focus point technique here. It's a bad job of the focus point technique here, We're going to talk about that. Install, I found this, the way we install, again, if you have access to this, great, but we have an iPad to where we can flash it up on the screen, and the install, is already right there for the guys to draw up, So our guys they're gonna get the play on the screen, and they're gonna actually draw it up, and I can it saves time. Now I'm kind of old school in the fact that I like to get on the whiteboard and I like to draw each play up, but the thing is, during the season, you're pressed for time, and so we don't have very long position meetings. I'd say they go 30, 40 minutes on a great day, 30 minutes typically, and typically no more than 30. So if I was on the board, I might be taking up 15 to 17 minutes of my time drawing up plays, and I'm not going to be able to get to all my stuff. So I want to pre-draw those plays on my iPad, and then have those flashed up or have the diagrams and then flash them up and let our guys see it. They're going to draw the play from that diagram, go to the next one. They'll draw it up, so you kind of cut down on time right there, save time. All right, water jugs for our guys, mandatory. Everywhere they go, they got to have a water jug, Wide receivers, again, got to stay hydrated. If I catch them without it, we'll do push-ups in the hallway, do whatever, wherever we're at. But it is mandatory that our guys have their water jugs, that they're taking care of their body. They're hydrated through the day they're in class, hydrate. They're walking to the cafeteria, hydrate. They're walking over here to the meetings, hydrate. You're in the meeting room, hydrate. check it every time they come on in, okay, and make sure that they're hydrated. Okay, a couple unique deals we talked about. Okay, early on we talked about creating an engaging and an effective learning environment to where the players are involved. And keep in mind, as we go through these cutoff guys, we go through corrections. I'm asking questions. Like I'm if we're drawing up a game plan play, I'm sitting there asking questions of, hey, what this route right here, okay, it might be a play off of another play. What depth do we typically run that at? Okay, and I'll ask a specific guy. You always, I think, got to ask questions to get guys engaged, to make sure that they're paying attention, and again, just to get their brain going. And so we're trying to create that environment with that. But then there's some unique things that we do. Tennis balls. I think having tennis balls in the meeting room are awesome. 2 reasons, okay? Number 1, hand-eye coordination, okay? We're stealing reps. I think you always got to kind of think outside the box. Guys are watching film, okay? They're tossing. I tell them to get, just like 10 tosses on each hand, okay? They can toss that ball, okay, and work tennis ball catches. I think, again, tennis ball catches are one of the most effective ways for guys to just get better at catching a football, okay? They're catching that small object and that big object comes. Okay, that's great. Now, we do that in our off-season work, but also in the position meeting, okay? We'll go ahead and get that in. The second reason is I like for those tennis balls also to roll their feet out. And so, like, when we're going through fall camp especially, and our guys, they're banged up, their feet are real sore from running routes and practicing so much, having that high volume, we'll put those tennis balls on the floor and roll out, okay, for our guys and really roll out that pain, that stress they built up in their foot. And then we got grip strength, and so those forearm grippers, we'll have those in the room as well. And I tell our guys again, we want strong fingers and we want strong forearms, okay, to really snatch that ball. And so we'll get just a minimum of 10 to 15 reps on each of them. They'll hold it as long as they can, and they're doing this all while they watch film. We're just passing it around, okay, as watching. So there's always something going on, and I know that seems kind of distracting, or the guys is that creating more distractions, and for us. And again, your players better than I do, but for us, it keeps us more engaged because we're not in there just sitting there staring at a screen. That's when our guys get lost. For us is when it's just watching straight film, nothing else is going on. They're going to get lost, okay? Or if a coach is up there, if I'm up there just giving them install stuff and I'm not asking questions and I'm just the one talking, they're losing their concentration. So we'll use the forearm strengtheners, okay, to again increase our grip strength, okay, and so again trying to find ways to get better, and it increases that blood flow during the meeting, so that again our guys are they're more attentive when that blood flow is going, but when they're sitting there and kind of drifted off into space, it's difficult. All right, then this is a really unique one that I love doing, and I do this once I got a good feel for each guy in the room. And you're not going to embarrass somebody, but also it's really good, especially for I think your high profile players, your really good players that want to go play. If you're a high school guy that want to go play at the D1 level, if you're a college guy that want to go play at the NFL level, we'll start a meeting or end the meeting. We've done it both ways. Sometimes when I like to wake them up, I feel like we've been dragging. I like to do it at the beginning of the meeting, but I'll have our players draw a play, and basically they turn into coach. And so I'll say, so-and-so, get on the board and draw up this concept, this play. And I'll give them a play, and they not only have to draw it up, they got to draw up the old lineman. They got, because the receivers sometimes they like to draw up just their position. They don't like to mess with the box or anything. So they got to draw up the 5 old linemen, where the back's going to be set, and they got to teach the route to me, okay, all 4 routes. So that's something that really gets their mind going, and it really shows them, the details it takes to execute these plays. And so he can't just get up there and say, hey, this is our crossing route, here's this, here's that. It's not that simple, okay? He's got to get up there and tell me, we're going to break this route at 12, we're going to break it at 15, okay? And you're coming down your stem, you're tracing out, okay, whatever. I'll ask questions. I'll turn into the player, and I'll say, coach, hey, teach me on that go route, how I'm going to release that. And then they got to tell me that. So they're verbalizing it in front of their teammates, and they're drawing it on the board, okay, right there. That's something that's been really, really effective in doing that. Another thing we've done to kind of memorize plays, again, it seems minuscule, but it really our guys really loved it and got them going on it, was we would play a hangman in our room, and we divide up into teams and play hangman, and guys would have to guess the name of the play, or it might be a technique, and again, the category is technique, or the category is drop back pass, category is RPO, category is screen, and the guys got to guess what play that is, and then I'd let them draw that up, you know. So like, hey, this play, oh, it's 4 verticals, coach got it. Okay, this team wins. All right, draw that play up for me. So you're trying to create creative ways. Again, might seem sometimes just, you know, over the top, but again, I want our guys, at least for our guys, I want it to be that way so that our guys are engaged in what they're doing in the meeting room. And then we're going to always, whenever we got, especially a lot of indie time, we're going to make sure that we cover our indie drills, cover our practice plan. I think giving you guys a preview of what is to come on the practice field is really critical for them to visualize it and for those guys to have an idea of where to go and all that. So make sure you get that covered as well in your meetings. So, but I hope this helps. These are some things that we do to create that engaging learning environment so our guys, you know, stay focused and they're learning something. They're not just sitting through a meeting and wasting time. I think one of the biggest things you're trying to fight as a coach is you're trying to avoid wasted time. Okay, you're trying not to waste time. You've only got so many hours, so many minutes in the day. Okay, you don't want to waste time with your guys, and so that's our aim and our goal by creating an engaging environment that we don't waste any time in our position meetings. Okay, so I hope that helped you guys. I hope they gave you some ideas and got the blood flowing a little bit on some ideas, and looking forward to seeing you guys in future sessions.